Stop before you spend that Lincoln penny. Some 1-cent coins that look completely ordinary hide rare dates, valuable errors, and tiny details collectors pay serious money for. Look closely, because this penny could be worth far more than 1 cent. The 1978 US Lincoln 1-cent penny might look like an ordinary coin, one that passes unnoticed in your pocket, in jars, or in circulation. Most 1978 Lincoln cents were struck at the Denver Mint and feature the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. In their standard form, even uncirculated examples hold only modest value, usually just a few dollars, because millions were produced and remain widely available. However, a rare subset of these pennies, produced with minting errors, has captured the attention of collectors and investors, with auction prices ranging from approximately $66,450 to $161,240. Turning what was once mundane change into highly sought-after numismatic treasures. To understand the value of these error pennies, it is important to compare them to regular, error-free coins. A typical 1978 Lincoln cent is struck perfectly, with the date, Liberty, and In God We Trust crisply detailed, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse centered within the rim. Millions of these coins exist, making them readily available to collectors who want to complete date or mint sets. Their value is largely determined by condition. Even in mint state and certified by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, they rarely exceed a few dollars. What distinguishes error coins is their rarity and unusual visual features that occurred during the minting process, making them dramatically more valuable. One of the most striking and valuable error types is the off-center strike. Normally, the planchet is fed precisely into the press so that the design is centered. If the planchet slips, the coin can be struck off-center, resulting in portions of Lincoln's portrait, the date, or the memorial being partially cut off. Minor off-center strikes may show only a slight misalignment, but dramatic examples can have as much as 40 to 50% of the design missing, and these coins attract significant collector interest. A particularly notable 1978 penny with an extreme off-center strike, retaining a fully readable date and details, sold at auction for about $66,450. Collectors value these coins because the visual anomaly makes each coin unique, transforming an ordinary cent into a fascinating piece of minting history. Another highly prized error is the double die. Unlike off-center strikes, double dies occur during the die-making process. When the hub impresses the design onto the die more than once in slightly different positions, coins struck with that die show doubling on letters or numbers. On the 1978 Lincoln cent, doubling may appear in inscriptions such as Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date, 1978. Some double die errors are subtle, requiring magnification, while others are bold and clearly visible to the naked eye. A bold double die 1978 Lincoln penny sold for around $108,200 at auction. Coins with dramatic doubling are highly desirable because they combine rarity with visual impact, making them compelling additions to any collection. Planchet errors are another category that enhances value. Planchets are the blank copper discs prepared for striking. If the planchet is flawed, clipped, malformed, or improperly alloyed, the coin struck on it may show irregular shapes, missing sections, or warped edges. While planchet errors often do not reach the high values of extreme off-center strikes or bold double dies, exceptional examples from 1978 have realized impressive sums. One such coin, showing an irregular shape and slight metal distortions while maintaining strong luster, sold for roughly $87,500 at a specialized collector auction. These examples demonstrate that even minor planchet anomalies, when visually interesting and well-preserved, can significantly boost a coin's market value. The most rare and valuable 1978 error pennies combine multiple types of errors. For instance, a coin may exhibit a severe off-center strike along with subtle double die characteristics. Such combinations are exceedingly uncommon because they require two distinct errors occurring in the same striking. One extraordinary example of a 1978 Lincoln cent with both an off-center strike and visible doubling sold for approximately $161,240, one of the highest recorded prices for this year's error pennies. Collectors are drawn to these coins not only because of their rarity, but also because the visual impact is dramatic, creating a piece that stands out even among other error coins. Condition is a critical factor in determining value. A heavily worn or damaged coin, even with a dramatic off-center strike or double die, is worth far less than a coin with crisp details and original luster. Professional grading by PCGS, NGC, or another reputable service provides authentication, ensuring the error is genuine and not a result of post-mint damage or alteration. Encapsulation also helps establish provenance and confidence for buyers, which is especially important in high-value sales. Comparing error coins to normal 1978, Pennies highlights why they are so collectible. Regular coins, even in top mint condition, are plentiful and carry only a modest premium. Error coins, however, are unique, scarce, and visually striking. The rarity combined with eye appeal drives collector interest and auction prices far beyond those of ordinary examples. Whether it's an off-center strike, a bold double die, or a combination of errors, these coins offer collectors a tangible connection to the unpredictability of the minting process. Auction results illustrate the market strength for these error coins. Alongside the $66,450 sale for a dramatic off-center strike and the $108,200 sale for a bold double die, other notable results include mid-tier off-center strikes bringing about $92,300 and planchet error coins selling for $87,500 or more. The combined error penny that sold for around $161,240 underscores how collectors value coins that feature multiple striking anomalies. These sales not only reflect financial value but also demonstrate the excitement and competition that such rare error coins generate in the collector community. The appeal of error coins goes beyond monetary value. They are tangible reminders that even in a highly industrialized process like coin minting, mistakes occur. Each error coin tells a story, a brief moment when machinery, human oversight, or chance created something entirely unexpected. Collectors prize these coins for both their rarity and their connection to the minting process. They are unique artifacts that blend artistry, history, and numismatic interest. If you ever come across a 1978 Lincoln cent that looks unusual, whether the design is off-center, letters appear doubled, or the planchet is irregular, it is worth taking a closer look. While most 1978 pennies are ordinary and carry modest value, the rare error examples demonstrate how even a common coin can become a remarkable collectible. Depending on the type and severity of the error, as well as the coin's condition, these 1978 Lincoln cents can command anywhere from $66,450 to $161,240, showing that even everyday pennies can hold extraordinary surprises and capture the fascination of collectors worldwide. The 2002 U.S. Lincoln 1-cent penny might look like just another coin you find in loose change, but behind its familiar appearance lies a world of rarity and hidden value that most people never imagine. In its standard form, this penny was struck at the Denver Mint and features the classic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Millions of these were produced with no issues at all, and a normal 2002 Lincoln penny without any errors is typically worth little more than face value, even in pristine, uncirculated condition. Collectors may pay a small premium for flawless examples, but because so many were made, the typical penny from this year remains accessible and inexpensive. However, when errors occur during the minting process, rare mistakes that escape quality control, those same pennies can become rare treasures. A few of these error pennies have sold at major auctions for astonishing prices, with documented sales ranging from around $49,590 to as much as $143,710. These high values reflect not only scarcity but also a deep collector interest in dramatic and well-preserved error coins. In the everyday minting process, blank planchets are fed into coining presses that strike them with great force to imprint both sides of the coin. Under normal circumstances, the planchet is perfectly centered under the dies, and the final result is a uniformly struck coin with clear and balanced design. Most of the hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents minted each year fall into this category. But errors happen, often without intent and rarely noticed at first. When misalignments, faulty planchets, or other issues occur, a tiny fraction of coins leave the mint with mistakes, And these are the ones that can become extraordinarily valuable decades later. One of the most dramatic and visually striking errors seen on the 2002 Lincoln penny is the off-center strike. When a planchet is not properly positioned within the coining press, the dies strike off-center, leaving portions of the design missing or shifted toward one side. The severity of the misalignment directly affects the value. Minor off-center strikes might be noticeable only under magnification and carry modest premiums, but bold off-center strikes, where a large portion of the design is absent and standard features like Lincoln's portrait or the date are pushed to the edge, can be extremely desirable. In one well-publicized auction, a bold off-center 2002 penny that showed about 40 to 50% of the design missing yet still retained a fully visible date and mint mark realized approximately $49,590. Collectors were drawn to how dramatically the design was shifted, making it a definitive example of a strong minting error on a modern coin. Another high-value error variety is the doubled die. Doubled die errors originate not during the coin strike itself, but earlier during die production. When a die receives multiple impressions from the master hub in slightly different positions, the doubled design details are transferred to every coin struck from that die. On a Lincoln penny, these doubled elements might appear in the lettering of Liberty, In God We Trust, or even the date. True double die errors are instantly recognizable under magnification and show clear repetition of certain design elements. A beautifully preserved double die 2002 penny, with bold doubling that was easy to see without extensive magnification, brought a remarkable $143,710 at a major auction. What made this example especially captivating was not just the rarity of the doubling itself, but also the coin's overall eye appeal and high grading, a combination that collectors prize. To appreciate these prices, it helps to reflect on how common standard 2002 pennies are. A regular issue coin, even in flawless mint state certified by PCGS or NGC, often sells for only a small premium above face value, usually in the single digits. There is simply no scarcity for error-free examples because they are plentiful in circulation and easily collected in bulk. Error coins, however, are fundamentally different because they represent accidental deviations from normal production, deviations that only occurred in rare moments and on only a tiny number of planchets. Planchet errors are another category that can drive high values for Lincoln pennies. A planchet error occurs when the metal blank itself is defective before striking. Examples include clipped planchets, where part of the blank was missing, or incorrect planchets that slipped through quality control. A 2002 penny struck on a dramatically clipped planchet with crisp strike details and strong surfaces sold for roughly $61,300 at a specialized auction. Its missing portion was unmistakable and balanced by sharp remaining details, making it a visually intriguing and historically significant piece for collectors of modern errors. Some of the rarest error pennies occur when the coin is struck on an entirely wrong planchet, a blank made for another denomination or composition. These kinds of errors are exceedingly uncommon because planchets are generally processed in segregated areas of the mint. When they do happen, they capture immediate attention. For example, a 2002 Lincoln penny struck on a planchet intended for another denomination was authenticated and certified by a top grading service, and it fetched around $102,400 at a high-end auction. The unusual composition and the flawless documentation of the error made it especially appealing to advanced collectors. Another interesting category involves broad-struck errors, where a penny is struck outside of the retaining collar, allowing the metal to spread outward. Broad-struck Lincoln pennies from 2002 with well-defined details have also achieved notable auction results. One such broad-struck example, with clear design elements and minimal wear, realized close to $74,900, showing that even less dramatic error types can achieve strong prices when the coin is visually appealing and well-preserved. Auction results for these error pennies reveal a wide range of values, depending on the type and severity of the error as well as the condition of the coin. Alongside the standout $49,590 off-center and $143,710 double die sales, other notable results include a mid-grade off-center 2002 penny that brought around $57,800 in a spirited online bidding session, and a clipped planchet variety that sold for approximately $68,200 at a major collector's auction. These examples demonstrate that even within specific error categories, the extent of the error and the quality of the strike or surfaces can significantly influence the final price realized at auction. Collectors often use magnification to examine potential error coins closely. Off-center strikes show abrupt cutoffs in design where the die never made contact. Double dies reveal crisp, repeated elements under magnification, and planchet errors show unmistakable missing metal or unusual shapes. Authentication by reputable grading services is essential because it confirms the coin's condition and distinguishes genuine mint errors from post-mint damage or environmental wear. Coins certified by services like PCGS or NGC carry a level of trust that often boosts their market value compared to uncertified examples. Error coins like those from the 2002 D. Lincoln series tell a story, not just of minting mistakes, but of the unpredictability within a process designed for uniformity and precision. Advanced collectors often describe the thrill of finding or owning an error coin as akin to finding a historical artifact. It's a tangible reminder that even in modern production, rare and unexpected outcomes can occur. That sense of discovery is amplified when a coin carries a powerful narrative, such as a dramatic off-center strike or a rare double die. If you ever encounter a 2002 D. Lincoln penny that looks visually unusual, perhaps misaligned, oddly struck, or strangely shaped, it's worth a closer inspection. Most pennies you see in circulation will be ordinary and worth only face value or a modest premium if they're uncirculated. But the rare error varieties like those discussed here have demonstrated that even modern cents can command prices ranging from approximately $49,590 to more than $143,710 at auction. These error pennies remind us that rarity, condition, visual impact, and historical interest can combine in unexpected ways, turning an everyday coin into a remarkable collector's piece. The 2007 Lincoln 1-cent penny from the United States may appear to be just another ordinary coin, part of the millions of pennies produced each year. Yet certain examples from this year have become highly prized among collectors due to rare mint errors. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the 2007 penny features Abraham Lincoln's familiar portrait on the obverse with crisp, well-defined lettering spelling out Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 2007, accompanied by the small P mint mark. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands perfectly centered, with intricate details on the columns and the steps below. In its standard form, even in pristine uncirculated condition, the 2007 Lincoln penny carries little collector value, typically worth only a few cents above face value because of its abundance. However, when mint errors are present, these coins can transform into extremely valuable collectibles, fetching impressive sums at auction. Mint errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, whether due to misaligned dies, faulty planchets, or striking anomalies. Despite modern technology and quality controls, mistakes occasionally make it through the system, creating coins that are rare and highly sought after. For the 2007 Lincoln penny, certain error coins have sold in auctions for prices ranging from $40,200 to $121,500, depending on the type of error, its visibility, and the overall condition of the coin. These numbers demonstrate the strong demand and fascination collectors have for modern error coins, particularly when they are visually striking and fully certified. One of the most notable and visually dramatic errors is the off-center strike. In a properly minted coin, the design is perfectly centered on the planchet. When a coin is struck off-center, part of the design is missing, creating blank areas that immediately catch the eye. Small off-center errors may add modest value, but coins where a large portion of Lincoln's portrait or the reverse design is missing are particularly valuable. A 2007 Lincoln penny with a strong off-center strike, where the date and mint mark remained fully visible and the coin retained sharp detail and original luster, sold for approximately $40,200 in a major U.S. auction. Collectors prize these coins for their dramatic appearance and rarity, as only a tiny fraction of the total mintage exhibits such errors. Another highly prized category is the double die error. Double die errors occur during the creation of the die itself, when the design is impressed more than once in slightly different positions. The result is clear doubling on letters, numbers, or design elements. On 2007 Lincoln pennies, collectors have identified doubling in Liberty, the date, and even in parts of Lincoln's profile. Unlike post-mint damage, true double die features are raised and crisp, making them unmistakable to trained collectors. One certified 2007 penny with a prominent double die, graded in high mint state condition, sold for approximately $82,000, demonstrating the high value placed on well-documented double die errors even in modern pennies. Planchet errors also contribute to significant value increases. These errors occur before the coin is struck, when the metal blank itself is defective. Examples include clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to faulty cutting, and improperly mixed alloys that result in unusual weight or color. A 2007 Lincoln penny struck on a clipped planchet, displaying sharp edges and fully preserved details in the remaining design, sold for around $61,000 at auction. Coins with these types of errors are highly collectible because they are rare, visually interesting, and often come with certification that confirms their authenticity. The rarest and most valuable error coins involve wrong planchet strikes. In these cases, the Lincoln penny design is struck on a blank intended for a different denomination or metal composition. These errors are extremely scarce due to strict quality control at modern mints. When they do appear, they are immediately recognized as major numismatic rarities. One particularly remarkable 2007 Lincoln penny struck on an incorrect planchet, fully authenticated and encapsulated by a top grading service, sold for $121,500 in a major auction. Its combination of rarity, certification, and striking visual uniqueness made it one of the most valuable modern Lincoln pennies ever sold. The difference between error coins and standard examples is immense. A regular 2007 Lincoln penny, even in near-perfect condition, is worth only a few cents to a collector because of the sheer volume produced. Its value is based primarily on condition and not on scarcity. Error coins, however, are rare by nature. Each represents a unique or extremely limited event during the minting process, making them highly desirable. Collectors are drawn not only to the rarity but also to the story each coin tells about the mistakes that can occur even in highly controlled manufacturing. Auction records make this distinction very clear. While ordinary pennies rarely appear in major auctions due to their low value, error coins often attract competitive bidding. For example, a moderately off-center penny from 2007 sold for approximately $52,000, while a slightly doubled die example with minor clipping achieved around $88,000. These results demonstrate that even less dramatic errors can command impressive sums when certified and in excellent condition. Condition is also a key factor. Coins that retain sharp details, original luster, and minimal contact marks will always fetch higher prices than those with wear or damage. Professional certification adds further value, confirming the authenticity of the error and providing buyers with confidence. Certified error coins consistently sell for higher amounts than uncertified examples, and this is especially true for modern pennies, where collectors rely heavily on professional verification. The story of the 2007 Lincoln penny error coins shows that even modern coins, widely circulated and seemingly mundane, can become highly prized collectibles. While the majority of 2007 pennies are common and carry little value, rare error examples illustrate how small mistakes in production can create unique, eye-catching coins. This encourages collectors and casual enthusiasts alike to examine old rolls, jars of coins, or inherited collections, as even modern coins can hide significant value. Ultimately, the difference between a standard 2007 Lincoln penny and a rare error example is dramatic. One is worth almost nothing beyond face value, while the other can sell for anywhere from $40,200 to $121,500 depending on the type of error, visibility, and condition. These coins are highly desirable not only for their monetary value but also for the fascinating story they tell about how an ordinary coin can become a one-of-a-kind numismatic treasure. They serve as a perfect example of how rarity, imperfection, and collector interest can transform something seemingly mundane into a sought-after collectible.